Hello friends, welcome back to the student blog. In this VMHorizon series, we'll be discussing and configuring Unified Access Gateway Appliance, that is UAG. So we'll be discussing about UAG, and after that we'll be configuring the UAG UAG OVF download. We will download the UAG OVF from the VMHorizon VMware site, and we will deploy the OVF. After that, we'll configure the Unified Access Gateway. So before that, we'll discuss about it, and we'll see some scenarios where without gate UAG, how it will be, like a couple of drawings we will see, and then we'll proceed to the lab. So before that, let's know a little bit about UAG. So UAG, that is the Unified Access Gateway, is a purpose-built virtual appliance that is designed to be the remote access component for VMHorizon. This appliance is hard hardened for deployment in general in DMZ scenarios, and it is designed to only pass authorized traffic from authorized users into a secure network. So UAG is the primary remote access component for Horizon. So this wasn't always the same case. Previously, Horizon used to release Horizon security server, which is an uh, Windows-based one. So after like VMware Horizon security server was deprecated and removed with Horizon 2006. So the UG has some benefits over the security server. So firstly, it doesn't require any Windows license, and secondly, no need to be patched, Windows patches, all stuff. And UAG is a built on Proton, that is VMware's lightweight Linux distribution, and it is distributed as an appliance. So secondly, UAG is not tightly coupled to any connection server, so you can use as a load balancer between the UAG and the connection server to eliminate single point of failures. And finally, multi-factor authentication is validated on the UAG in the DMZ. When a multi-factor authentication enabled, users are prompted for the second factor first, and they're only prompted for their Active Directory credentials. Uh, if this authentication is successful, the UAG can utilize multiple forms of MFA, including RSA, Radius, and SAML based solution, and setting up MFA on UAG does not require any changes on the connection server. So this is little bit about this, and coming to the like scenarios, like if you see here, this is how without an UAG, like it's internal connections. Like if you see here, oh, sorry. So if you see here, you have an Horizon client, and it's directly going to Horizon connection server using the Active Directory, and it's connecting to the uh, connection server, and it's directly uh, accessing the application, published application. So if you see here, you are able to see that without VM UAG, like we have a load balancer between the Horizon client and the Horizon connection server, where load balancer will take care of connecting the users to the multiple Horizon connection servers based on the load. So, but here there is no security related to EAG. So if you see here, you have for example, for the both scenarios, these are for internal connections, so that's fine to have the security is not a major concern because it's internal. So if you go to like for example, if users wants to connect over the internet from outside the organization environment or organization network, so there we need to use the internet, where we use in this case we are using UAG, and here so I'm using the Active Directory authentication. So we are connecting to our application or VDI. So So here it's using only for external. So to use it to configure the environment for both internal and external users, if you see here, like where we can both using the like in this scenario, like if you see here, we have two EAGs, two EAGs connecting to connection servers and load balancer to connect internal servers, which is like this is a diagram which says using this scenarios of both we can configure for both internal and external users. So here these are the settings which we'll be using in our lab. So now we'll go to our lab and we will deploy OVF or OVA, and then we'll configure. So we already aware, like from couple of videos, we are using this environment. So I have a vCenter 6.7 with one ESXi box, and this is my vCenter, that is vc.dc.com, and these are the VDIs, and this is a single ESXi box, and this is my VMHorizon console. So I'm just download the OVF uh, UAG OEF from VMware site, and I'm just copying to my jump box, or I'm using this as my jump box, so I just copied it. So it is copied now. So I will go to my vCenter and I will just try to deploy the OVF. So just select the local file, select the OVF and open it, click next. So it will ask for the name, that is I will give as UAG. So we already selected the data center here, so it is pretty simple. uh, so it's validating the OVF. Okay, so here is the publisher details and download size, size of the disk, all stuff. Next is configuration part, where if you see here a couple of licks, like based on your environment, if it is small, then you can go for 3 nicks, and if it is large, you can go for single nick with this option that will change the cores and memory, nothing more than that. If you see 1 nick, 2 core, 4 GB RAM, and if you select this 4 cores and 16 GB, if you select this, obviously it will increase. So this is how it is like. But ours is a lab, will be going for single nick with 2 cores and 4 GB memory. We'll select the storage as the default, and I prefer to go with thin provision. So you're good here, click next, and I have only one network. In the production we may have a management network, backend network, and internet, that is external network. So for me all three are same, so just going for it. So here, like if you see here, like we need to provide the IP details all. So here you can select static IPv4 or static IPv6 or DHCPv4. Based on it, you need to provide the IP. So here, this is for forwarding the forwarded rules. So we don't have anything, everything set to default. So NIC IP, like we need to provide the NIC IP, DNS, gateway, everything. So let me check my DNS. So 192.168.0.110. Okay, this is the IP for IPv4 IP, and there is no custom rules for it. Ignore. NIC for IPv6, we are not using it. DNS, we need to give the DNS name 192.168.0.40. Domain is DNS domain is like DNS is dc.com, and subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and no subnet mask for IPv4, custom configuration none, gateway 192.168.0.1, and name of the UAG you want to give, that is I'm going to give UAG as itself. And just if you want to join the SEEP, you can join it. Here this is very important because make sure that you give right password and keep it noted. So here like default password, expiry, number of days, root password and password, policy, minimum length, all stuff I will leave it for default. This is for root password, that this one is for root password, and this is for API, REST API. So okay, you can enable SSH if you want. So everything is done, we leave it for default remaining all and click next. So just go through the summary of the given provided details. Name is UAG, template is this one, okay. So management network, IPv4, everything looks fine. Let click finish. So now it's building the, it's deploying the OVF now. Okay. So let me pause the video for some time. Once it is deployed, then I will come back. So our OVF deployment is completed, and just powering on the VM now. If you see here, we have two options here. One is to log in and one is to set the time zone. So based on your time zone, you need to select the location. So it is done. So now we'll try to access the UAG. So you will be accessing the like URL using IP on port 9443 /admin. So you need to use the admin and password which you have given while configuring the UAG. So here we are able to log in, and it is Unified Gateway Application v20.12. So if you already have a JSON file, configuration file, you can just select and directly import it, or else you need to configure it manually. So I will select manually, and if you have see general settings, edge service settings, and authentication services, so we'll go for we are enabling the edge service settings, where horizon settings are the one we are going to look at it. So enable it. So here, if you see here, like we need to provide the connection server URL. I'm providing it using the IP. So you can also get the information when you click on the help icon. So if you see here, it's asking for like URL for your CS server. Mine is cs1.dc.com, but I have given IP. Both works fine. So this is the template of your CS server certificate. So for that, if you connect to your CS server, if you go here, go to certificate details. If you go down, there is a thumb print. You need to copy this, and you need to provide it here. That is sh1 is equal to, this is the same thing, same thumbprint I believe. Let me validate. D071. Okay, this is the one. So connection server IP mode is IPv4. So for now, like here, if you see here in our this thing low, so we have completed this option one. Then we have provided the thumbprint from our CS server certificate. So here, so I don't have a external IP or external URL. So this is just a dummy IP, a dummy URL I have provided. So this is a dummy IP. So these are the settings you will be seeing here. So if you see here, let me save this. So now it's validating horizon settings. So once it is done, it will be showing it as green. It's okay. Meanwhile, we'll see all other. So here we need to enable PCOIP, where we'll give the external public IP, like public IP with followed by the port number 4172. So if you see here, so 4172 is the port where we'll be connecting to the public IP, and must disable the feature on connection server. That we'll do it here. If you go to connection server, servers, connection server, select the CS01 and go to edit. Here if you see here, we need to disable this, we need to uncheck this secure HTTP secure tunnel for and the once you uncheck it, external URL will be the one which you have provided, that will be disabled. And here you need to select do not use blast secure gateway, and anyhow PCOP secure gateway is already unchecked. Just click OK. So this is done. This is what it was saying here. So we already disabled it our connection server. So blast external URL. So the next one is this one. So here you need to provide the public URL, like which you will be using to access the VDI or appliance to connect our C connection server. Here you need to provide it, so you can see it here. So if you see URL used by Horizon clients to establish the Horizon blast or bit session to this UAG appliance. So they give an example for URL followed by port number 443. So this has to be enabled, and enable UDP tunnel server. If you see here, BSG UDP tunnel server is enabled. So enable connection through UDP is case of lower bandwidth. So yes, you must disable the feature on connection server, which we done it already. So we have to provide the these URLs, external public URLs here, here and here, with followed by the mentioned ports. Once this is done, so I'm disabling it because I don't have it. If I put a dummy public IP and public URL, if I save it, definitely it will throw an error because it doesn't exist. So here, if you see here, uh, horizon destination server is connected. It's showing a green. So once if you provide public IP and public URLs, everything, so whenever a user connects from external network, what happens is, if you see the sessions, go to dashboard. If you see the sessions here, mm, let me show you. Mm, so when you see here, we'll be able to see the username and uh, like details like type, form, which form, and all, client server. And here, if it is connecting from external network, it will be displayed like this user is using UAG gateway. So start time and duration, everything will be listed here once the user connects from external network. So maybe I don't have the option, so I don't have the external IP in the URL. Sorry for that, but that's how it is. And can see here the port numbers, which which has to be opened. So these are the port numbers which has to be opened to make sure to work UAG connectivity. And once everything is set, you will be able to see that all PCOP, tunnel, blast, everything will be green. If anything is red, then you must fix it. So let me check. See here, if my user is connected, like, so you can see type desktop, pool is desktop, F pool, and this is the assigned BDI, client ID, and client version he is using, and he is connected locally, so internally. So that is the reason. So security gateway is not listed, or else it will be like security gateway name will be listed. So, and the display protocol, VMware blast. So yeah, so that's all for this video. uh, I believe this is somehow informative for you guys. I'm really sorry that I don't have an external URL or external public IP to completely show this settings and all stuff. Thanks for watching, and please do subscribe my channel. Any suggestions, queries, please reach out to me on vstudentblog@gmail.com. Thank you. Bye bye.